When Boyd and Sara decided to head out into the forest to look for a way out of Fromville, they spent a couple days randomly walking around. Eventually, they came across this really weird location. It was a tree, but someone had put dozens, maybe even hundreds of bottles all over the branches. So, obviously, they tried to get a closer look at what exactly may be inside them, but at that specific moment, Sarah just coincidentally happens to have a meltdown and a seizure. Hmm? What a coincidence. Sarah wakes up many hours later and she tells Boyd that they should go back to Fromville because this time the voice she had talking to her was very different. First of all, it was a woman's voice when supposedly Sarah's only ever been spoken to by male voices. The voice told her, "Tell Mr. Fish and Loaves I was wrong." The immediate assumption most people are going to have to what Abby was saying to Boyd is that she was wrong about her theory. Abby had a theory that Fromland is a dream, and only after death can you wake up from the dream, that only after dying will you wake up from the nightmare. But what if that wasn't what Abby was warning Boyd about? What if she meant something else? In an earlier episode, we see Boyd visiting her grave, and when he does so, he asks her for a sign on whether or not he should keep going with his plan to look for a way out of Fromland. Soon after that visit, he's sitting at the diner talking with Christy about what happened to Ethan and how Christy felt sad because she unknowingly encouraged Sarah into killing him. But right then and there, the radio turns on and starts playing Abby and Boyd's song. So Boyd takes that as a sign that going into the woods is the right move for him to make because that's the sign he was looking for. That's the sign that he was asking for. But what if the consequences for going into the woods by the Fromland itself is what Abby was warning about and not her theory about everything being a dream? What if her mistake was telling Boyd that it's okay to go into the woods because at the time she didn't realize the dangers that were living in the woods? And that's what she's referring to when she says, "Tell Mr. Fish and Loaves I was wrong." And that's a phrase that can mean all sorts of things, and that's probably why the writers decided to use it. Because you can even say she was apologizing for her major fuck up and how she ended up destroying their family, after what she did. Anyways, when Boyd and Sarah were camping, they get dragged out much deeper into the forest by something. I don't know what it is, maybe a giant spider, maybe it was something else. I have my own ideas, of course, and you can watch my video on that to see my thoughts. This all happened despite them putting up a talisman in the tent. And in the next day, Boyd and Sarah actually find themselves in a place full of spider webs, and these spiders hypnotize Boyd and he gets stung repeatedly by them and almost ends up dying. When Ethan was injured in episode 2, he talks to Jim about a dream he had where their family was gathered up for some reason and they were all sad. Suddenly a giant spider came down from the ceiling. It seems to me that the writers are really heavily implying that there's gonna be multiple monsters out there in Fromland, apart from the terrifying and invincible ones that we're already used to. They're putting a lot of emphasis on the spiders especially, but if you think giant spiders and those other ones are bad, imagine fighting an actual tree. That would be terrifying. Tree monsters would be invincible just like the mimics we're used to because they're wood with an added bonus of being absolutely gigantic. The way I see it, there's really just two options about what Abby was saying she's wrong about. Either her theory that it's all a dream, or that she was wrong about telling Boyd it's a good idea to go into the woods. If it's the second reason, then she may be talking about something that I'm gonna go over in my video about the man who answered Jim's radio. Wait for my video on that to get a better understanding on my thoughts on what she may have meant if it's option 2. And it might already be on the channel. You should go and see. It might already be there. But anyways, tell me your thoughts and theories about what Abby may have meant and tell me your thoughts on this video and my theory, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.